X-Men the Animated Series previews coming right up. Mr. Clicks Flicks is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for all your gaming needs. You can visit them at LuckyDiceCafe.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. Mr. Clicks Flicks is also brought to you by TrollandToad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Use the promo code Mr. Clicks Flicks for 5% off your Heroclix order today. Alright guys, so today we are taking a look at some of the X-Men, the Animated Series previews. I know it's been a while since we've done any of these previews. Sorry about that, I've been real busy with my day job, but we've got a ton of them here for you. There is going to be an unboxing for the channel, plus there's going to be a Troll and Toad unboxing, and some other real cool stuff coming up for this set. The hype is real for this set. Tons of cool figures in this particular preview that I'm hyped about, and I just love everything about X-Men the Animated Series. I was in the demographic when it first aired, so super excited about it. Enough of me gabbing, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these previews. Alright, so up first we have Madrix, number 24 in the set. G24. So he is a giant figure. Bunch of different keywords there. As you can see, has two traits, a special on his attack and a special on his damage. Now, if you guys have been watching the channel at all, you know that I'm a big fan of the Multiple Man, so I was super excited to see this. He does look like he's a super rare Colossus, so fingers crossed that we're going to get that in our case that we pre-ordered, but you never know. So his first trait is called, I can't see the bottom of the pile yet. At the beginning of the game, generate a number of Madrix dupe bystanders corresponding to his point value. 404, 303, 202, 101. So basically 1 per 100 points. And what's a Madrix dupe? It has 0 point value, has a 6 movement with plasticity, 10 attack, 16 defense, energy shield deflection, and 0 damage with empower. Kind of wish he would have had autonomous for that, but you know, it is what it is. His other trait is called the original multiple man. When Madrix is hit by an attack or hits with a close attack, after resolutions generate a Madrix dupe bystander. Using Flurry may generate 2 bystanders in a turn. So basically, if he gets hit, he generates a dupe. If he hits, he generates a dupe. If he uses Flurry or is able to attack multiple times in a turn, somehow, some way, you basically get a dupe for each time you hit. So that's super awesome. Maybe I'll have to have somebody on that I've played against from my old venue, and they can talk about the armies of multiple men that I've played with over the years. But this special on this attack is called, these copies have been learning on their own. Madrix and his Madrix dupes can use the standard attack and damage powers that opposing characters adjacent to them can use. They lose the powers when the character is no longer adjacent. So makes sense there. But that's pretty cool that they gain the powers of the attack and damage. That's super helpful. And then Arg, stop making new layers. Shape change. When he uses it, and the result is a 5, generate a Madrix dupe bystander. And on the result of 6, 2 Madrix dupe bystanders, protected outwit. So let's break this down for you. Basically what this means is that you're generating a Madrix dupe on a close hit, on a close, when an opposing figure close damages you. You're generating it if you succeed on your shape change roll. So basically, anytime you attack or get attacked, you're generating a dupe bystander. So that's pretty cool there. So it's also cool to note that they have empower, so if they're adjacent to each other, they're going to be dealing 3 damage. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So his 4 different point lines are 400, 300, 200, and 100 points. At 400 points, he has an 8 movement with sidestep, 11 attack, 18 defense, energy shield deflection, 4 damage with that special. At 300 points, 8 movement with sidestep, 11 attack, 18 defense, energy shield deflection, 3 damage with that special. 200 points is a 7 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, 18 defense, energy shield deflection, 2 damage with that special. And 100 points is a 7 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, 18 defense, energy shield, 1 damage with that special. I'm going to probably try to run him at basically every different point line, just because I like this figure so much, or the character so much. Is he competitive? No, not really. But still just really fun, and I really like the sculpt on this one. A little disappointed game mechanic-wise, as far as how it's going to be moving him around the board, because you're not really going to be able to carry him because he's a multi-base figure and stuff like that. But still, I think the sculpt's going to be really cool, and I like that it's going to be on a bigger base. Up next, we have Archangel, number 34 in the set. He's going to be a super rare, has the X-Men and celebrity keywords, has improved movement, ignores characters, and has 2 traits. First trait is called Obsession. At the beginning of the game, choose the opposing character with the highest point value. At the beginning of your turn, if Archangel is within range and line of fire of the chosen character, note Archangel's current click number and turn him to click 11. If you do this turn, when making attacks, he can only target the chosen character, and at the end of the turn, return him to noted click number. So we've seen this mechanic a couple different times. It's always interesting when it comes up. We'll take a look at his dial and what that specifically does for him here in a minute. But it's cool that they kind of have that quote-unquote wild dial mechanic. His other trait is called Nothing Can Take Away My Desire for Revenge. When Archangel moves at least 5 squares in a direct path, he can use sidestep and energy shield deflection until your next turn. So those are really cool there. Obviously, beginning of the game, you're going to be getting more use out of that. You're going to move pretty much, you're definitely moving more than 5. I don't know about your full 12. Depends on what your opponent's swing range is. But definitely cool there. And then, his power names are just cool, and that's the thing about this set is I can almost hear the episode playing whenever I see it. But it's really cool. So 100 points gets you a 5 range single target, 12 movement with running shot and flight ability, 11 attack with psychic blast, 18 defense with invulnerability and indomitability, 3 damage. So that's pretty cool for a ranged attacker. Now he is only 6 clicks long, so for 100 points, I don't know. I would have liked to maybe had a 12 attack or a 4 damage for 100 points, but I think what they're counting on is you getting a lot of use out of that click number 11, which is 11 movement with charge, 12 attack with super strength, 16 defense with nothing on it, but he still has indomitability, and 4 damage with battle fury. So really what they're planning on you doing is you name the highest pointed character on your opponent's force. You get kind of within range and line of fire, and then you make him go crazy, get up to that 12 attack, and then you charge in with a heavy object for 6 damage with battle fury, so you're getting around shape change and stuff like that. And that's how he's going to earn his points for you. He's not really intended to earn his points by just flying around and running shot psychic blasting people, although he could probably do that. But at 100 points, he's going to have to be pretty much your main force. But this is I think the sculpt's cool. I think the quotes are cool. This is a neat power set. If you can get him to click 3 and 4 where he has hypersonic speed, I think that's a sweet spot, especially click 3 where he maintains that 11 attack value. I think that's going to be where it's at for this guy. But definitely something I'm hoping to get. Next up, we have Bastion, number G13 in the set. Has the Sentinel feature and robot keywords. Has 2 traits and a special on his defense. His first trait is called, It is my resolute belief that X-51 is better suited for the role of executioner your executioner. I'm not sure, but anyway, mind control, but only to target friendly characters with the robot keyword. So that's really cool there. Anytime you can mind control your own figures, you're up for some shenanigans and bordering on game-breaking mechanics. Now, this guy's point values, as we'll get into in a minute, aren't going to allow for that too much because he's a little too expensive, so he has to be your dude. But you never know. There might be a little fold in here that helps with that. His other trait is called Mutant Eradication Begins Leadership. When Bastion uses it and succeeds, instead of the normal effect, you may generate a G002 Sentinel. When generating the Sentinel, you got to roll for its starting click. If an opposing character has the X-Men or Brotherhood of Mutants keyword, Bastion succeeds on a result of a 4 through 6 when using leadership. So souped up leadership is really cool. And then also being able to generate an outside the game anything is just awesome. So super helpful there. Big thumbs up in my book. Special on his defense is called Automated Force Fields. Impervious. Barrier as free, but only to generate the markers in scores adjacent to Bastion. Those markers block line of fire. 2 characters that can use giant size. He may still target through them. So what that means is, for those of you that play, if you're outdoors and you generate barrier, or there's some blocking terrain and you're using a figure that's colossal or giant size, the lines of fire are not blocked to them. So his barrier will actually take care of that for you, which is really cool that they thought to do that. So he has 3 different point lines: 300 points, 200 points, 100 points. At 300 points, it gets you a 6 range dual target, 12 movement with running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 18 defense, invulnerability, and indomitability, 4 damage with the colossal damage symbol. Then at 200 points, gets you a 10 movement with running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 18 defense with invulnerability, 4 damage. And then at 100 points, which I believe is probably his sweet spot, you get that 8 movement with running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 18 defense, invulnerability, 3 damage. You are giving up a lot to do that. You're giving up your 4 damage, but you still get, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clicks for 100 points is really good in my book. Plus, you can bring in characters from outside the game and mind control friendlies, and there's plenty of good robots to go around to mind control. It's just a matter of finding the correct, inexpensive ones, because in your usual 300-point modern game, 100 points is basically your main attacker, your tentpole of your team. So you're going to have to use him as kind of like a flex role where he is your main attacker, but you also have somebody that maybe doesn't have move and attack, but has main attacker stats. So then you'd be able to mind control him to basically get him moved into place, and then attack again with your regular action. So that's neat there. Definitely wouldn't be sad to see myself pull this guy. Next up, we have Colossus. He's number 37 in the set. He is a super rare, it looks like. He has the Acolytes, Excalibur, and X-Men keywords. He has 2 traits and a special on his defense. His first trait is called the Mutant Messiah. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose a friendly character with the Acolytes or Brotherhood of Mutants or X-Men keywords. That character can use Mastermind, but only to choose characters with this trait. So we've seen this before, but this is pretty neat that it's on somebody that can soak up a bunch of damage. Then his other trait is called Temporary Traitor. When Colossus is KO'd, don't remove him from the map. Instead, turn him to click number 1, and an opponent places him adjacent to a character. But anyway, it's now friendly to that opposing force for the rest of the game. If Colossus would take damage, instead remove him from the game without scoring him. So we've been seeing this a lot lately with some figures where it's, they go over to your opponent's side, and then whatever mechanic, you either get them back or they get KO'd. So that's pretty cool there. Then the special on his defense is called Defend the Defenseless. Defend Invincible. During an attack, adjacent friendly characters that replace their defense values with Colossus can use invulnerability. So that's really cool. You get an 18 defense and invulnerability when you're adjacent to Colossus. I can't think of really too many more things that I'd want from a Colossus. So he's 75 points, which is really economical. I think this guy will be good with a Colossus call-in. If nothing else, just with the regular stuff you get from the Colossus call-in. Plus, he gives you defend and invulnerability, so you get just all kinds of different reducers with him. He has the Brotherhood of Mutants and X-Men team abilities. Has a 9 movement with charge, 11 attack, super strength, 18 defense with that special, and indomitability, and 4 damage. If you guys couldn't tell, I definitely like this guy. Would not be sad to see myself pull him. Next up, we have Mojo. He's number G22 in the set. Has the Mojoverse, Celebrity, Monster, Mystical, and Ruler keywords. Has improved movement, ignores characters. Has 2 traits and a special on his movement. His first trait is called Behind the Scenes. Mojo can't be targeted by opposing characters 5 or more squares away. So that's really cool there. Anytime you can't be targeted is just awesome. So I believe that also takes away Outwit and Perplex from your opponents too, so they can't do anything to him with that stuff in addition to the regular attacks. His other trait is called More Action. Ratings are dropping. Whenever a character misses all targets of their attack, give Mojo a board token. Free, remove 2 board tokens to either place Mojo anywhere on the map or make an attack. So those things can really help you out. Now you did have to miss, but I mean, that's, just something that you can do. And the nice thing is, too, is that if he was like your 3rd attacker in a 300-point game and you missed, it doesn't say anything about it being another friendly character. So even if he misses, he gets a board token. And then you'd be able to remove 2 tokens and attack with him for like an extra attack, which is just really cool. Then his special on his movement is called Keep the Cameras on Them. Sidestep. When an opposing character uses Sidestep, after resolutions, Mojo may move up to 2 squares. So that's cool there, that you basically have extra special Canadian Sidestep. Sidestep and then an extra 2 movements. Just cool. He has 3 different point lines, 250, 175, and 75. His first point line at 250 has a 7 range single target, 8 movement with that special, 11 attack, Psychic Blast, 18 defense, Invincible, and Indomitability, 4 damage with Perplex and Giant Size. Then at 175, he has an 8 movement with that special, 11 attack with Psychic Blast, 18 defense, with Invulnerability, 4 damage with Probability Control. And then at 75 points, he has that 8 movement with special, 11 attack with Telekinesis, 18 defense, Invulnerability, 3 damage with Perplex. I like him at his 75 point line, but I can see why you would want the other ones. I think the board tokens are actually going to be fairly easy to accrue. And then especially if you stop and you think about using him with like some of the Trouble Alert figures, where it's like, okay, well, you missed, like, let's say you missed all your 3 times. He has his 2 board tokens. You get to bring in somebody from outside from your sideboard with Trouble Alert, plus you can remove something from him. You just have some shenanigans that could go on. And then the not being able to target if they're 5 or more squares away, him being a 2x2 base figure means that you'll be able to block lots of lines of fire with him. So I actually kind of like this guy. I liked him in the series. I thought he was just kind of crazy. So I'd be excited to pull these. And you'll see with a lot of these, that is kind of what I'm saying, is that maybe these aren't all super competitive, but I like the sculpts on pretty much every figure in this set. And they just seem fun to play. I think Sealed for this set's really going to be fun. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think Sealed is going to be like in this set. I think it's going to be a lot more fun than Avengers Infinity. I thought that set just wasn't very good in Sealed, but all of these, I haven't seen any figures yet that I didn't think wouldn't at least be able to compete within set. So let me know about that in the comments below. Next up, we have Mr. Sinister, number 43B in the set. He has the Marauders and Robot keywords. He has improved targeting, ignores hindering, 2 traits, a special on his movement, and a special on his damage. His first trait is called Danger Room Construct. When Mr. Sinister makes an attack after resolutions, give him an error token for each one in the attack, maximum 3. If Mr. Sinister has 2 or less error tokens, characters make a maximum of 1 damage, take a maximum of 1 damage from Mr. Sinister's attacks. Mr. Sinister takes a maximum of 1 damage from opponent's attacks, and he can't be healed or chosen for Mastermind Protected Pulse Wave. So we've seen this before on a couple other previewed Danger Room Construct figures, but this guy's pretty cool. I'll sell you on him here in a minute. His other trait is called Lesson from the Danger Room, Mr. Sinister. If Mr. Sinister is KO'd by an opposing character, for the rest of the game, that character has protected Outwit. So there is a penalty if your opponent is able to knock him out, but they're only able to deal him 1 damage at a time. So you should, in theory, be able to save him. His special on his movement is called Sinister Schemes and Logistics Processing, Phasing Teleport, Sidestep, Stealth. So this guy's just able to get all over the place, and you're not going to be able to do really too much about it. Then the special on his damage is called Secrets and Mysteries, Outwit and Shape Change. He's 40 points. He has a 7 range, single target, 10 movement with that special, 10 attack with poison, 18 defense with energy shield deflection, and 3 damage. So what you're going to do here is you have a 40-point figure that can be used as a call-in battery. In this day and age, there's a bunch of really good 40-point figures that you can call in. And then he basically, your opponent has to sink 5 attacks into him, and they all need to hit. You have to miss all your shape change rolls. And if you're in stealth, as long as they don't have improved targeting, they can't get rid of your shape change. And he's just a mobile outwitter. I like this guy a lot for 40 points. I would definitely be happy with him. I think he's a good figure. Just a lot of things going on there to try to protect himself. And then he's got that outwit, too, to help your team. This guy's just nasty. I like him a lot. Next up, we have Jason Wyngarde, number 48 in the set. He is a chase figure. He has the Brotherhood of Mutants, Hellfire Club, and Ruler keywords. He has 3 traits and a special on his defense. His first trait is called Don't Let the Dreams of Another Life Trouble You. Mind Control. When Jason Wyngarde uses it as range, he may count range and draw lines of fire from any character he hit this turn, and if he hits, after resolutions, he can use Mind Control at no cost, but only to target a character that he hasn't targeted with Mind Control this turn. He may he may repeat this. So anyway, sorry, these are a little bit fuzzy. But anyway, so basically this is sort of like mind controlling Hawkeye, which is pretty cool there. I'd like to see, there's a few things I'm thinking about pairing him up with where he could be really good. This is probably one of the better chases I've seen, and we didn't even get to the super good stuff yet. His other trait is called Psionic Illusion. Free. Choose a character on your sideline of 150 points or less on their highest point line. Generate a bystander printed on that character's card. Each bystander generated this way has max 1. You may activate the ability only twice per game. So what this means is, and this is important too, is that Jason Wyngarde being on your force makes it so that you can have basically any figure on your sideline, because that's how you're justifying having it there. There was a long conversation about it. So there's tons of different things that you could generate bystanders on. You can only do it twice per game, but it can be pretty powerful depending on what you have on your sideline to generate them. So definitely cool there, and it's free. A lot of characters have to take power actions or double power actions to generate certain ones. So definitely cool there. His last trait is called Inner Circle Club White Knight. White King. Jason Wyngarde has protected outwit, leadership, but may remove an action token regardless of adjacency. So that's pretty cool there. Regardless of adjacency, leadership is good. And then the special on his defense is called My Creation is Your Reality, Mastermind, Super Senses. He's 75 points, has a 6 movement with sidestep, 11 attack with smoke cloud, 18 defense, willpower, 1 damage with shape change. I like this guy a lot. At 75 points, he's a little pricey, but that mind control is just super nasty. If I'm able to pull one, I will definitely do a video of what I'm thinking. I just don't want to put it out there right now. I don't think it's going to be any kind of a state secret, but I think it'll be cool to talk about when that time comes. You guys let me know in the comments below what you would pair Jason Wyngarde with to just kind of break him and make him super competitive. That would be super interesting to read, but I will let you guys talk about that in the comments. Next up, we have Fantasia, I think is how you'd say that. She's number 32 in the set. Looks like she's a rare. And she has 2 traits and a special on her movement. Her first trait is called My Mutants, Brothers and Sisters. Once per turn, when an effect other than clearing removes an action token from Fantasia, After resolutions, heal her 1 click. So basically, you make leadership or a few other different things. You can heal her, which is cool. She has Brotherhood of Mutants keyword, which there's some figures in this set that are able to remove tokens in other ways. So I'm wondering if she has something like that too. Her other trait is called Electromagnetic Harmonizing. When Fantasia hits one or more opposing characters with an attack, choose one to last until your next turn. Hit characters gain a mobile, or hit characters modify attack -1, or hit characters modify defense -1. If all hit characters have the armor or robot keywords, choose 2 instead. Ooh, that's good. There's not a scenario that I don't think that would be good in. The special on her movement is called Electromagnetic Masking, Sidestep Stealth. When it's not your turn and Fantasia has no action tokens, all lines of fire drawn to her are hindered instead. So basically, she has perma stealth as long as she has no action tokens, which is phenomenal. She's 60 points, has the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, a 4 range dual target. She has an 8 movement with the flight ability and that special, 10 attack, incapacitate, 17 defense with super senses, 1 damage with shape change. So this is not a figure for everybody, but this is definitely one that I could see myself playing. She's just super finessey. That dual target in cap is enough by itself for me to like kind of get a little excited about it. But then when you hit, it doesn't say anything about damage, so it's just you're gonna dual target in cap, and then you're like, oh, and you can't move, or and you get -1 to your defense, or you get -1 to your attack, or if you have robot or armor, it's both the 2 out of those 3. Which is just phenomenal. She's only rare. Definitely want to get one of these. Next up is Donald Pierce, number 44 in the set. He is a chase figure. He has the Hellfire Club, Reavers, Robot, and Scientist keywords. He has 2 traits, a special on his attack and a special on his defense. First trait is called Inner Circle Club, White Bishop. Donald Blake has Protected Outwit. When Donald Pierce... Donald Blake. This isn't Thor. Donald Pierce. When Donald Pierce KOs a higher point character, after resolutions, remove all action tokens from him and heal him 2 clicks. Ooh, that's super powerful. So anytime you KO a higher pointed figure, you heal, which is great. Then his other trait is called Humans Will Not Be Replaced by Homo Superior. When Donald Pierce attacks a higher point character, modify his attack and damage +1. Donald Pierce can reduce penetrating damage dealt to him by higher pointed characters. That's really good. So really they're trying to stick it to some of the Colossals in this set, I think, with him, since their point values are always so high. Then the special on his attack is called Morphing Cybernetic Arm. Free, choose a standard attack power. Donald Pierce can use the chosen power until your next turn. Whew, that's so good. Pick power is always super strong. Then the special on his defense is called Nothing Left But My Head. Stop. When this power is revealed, place Donald Pierce on this card and generate a Donald Pierce's head object in the square he last occupied. If Donald Pierce is on this card and Donald Pierce's head is KO'd, or he's the only character on your force, KO Donald Pierce. So what's the effect of Donald Pierce's head? Effect: indestructible. If this object is in Donald Pierce's starting area, adjacent characters can be given a double power action to place Donald Pierce in this object square and on click number 2, and then remove this object from the game. That is phenomenal. Oh man, this guy's so good. So he's 100 points, has a 10 movement with charge, 11 attack with that special, 17 defense with invulnerability and indomitability, 3 damage, has a 5 range single target. I want to put the exo specs on this guy, I'm not going to lie. Pick any movement power, pick any attack power, go on my way. Oh, you knocked me out. Guess what? I'm going back to my starting area, and then I'm going to come back, and you're going to just hate life. For 100 points, this guy's phenomenal. I 100% want this guy. Next up, we have Vange Widon, I think is how you say that. X-Men, Animal, and Monster keywords. And let me just say, this is number G19 in the set. Even if you don't play Heroclix, I think this would be a really cool, just looking at the digital sculpt, a really cool thing for like D&D or something like that, just to have for like a visual representation, would be awesome. Anyway, this figure has a trait, special on its attack, and a special on its defense. Its trait is called Draconic Metamorph. At the beginning of the game, you may turn Vange on to click number 25. Her starting click doesn't change. So basically, no matter what you pay for this, you can choose to click it to click number 25, and then I assume there's a different thing to do after that. So the special on the attack is called Distract Them while with the claw, hit them with the tail. Blade's Claw's Fangs. When Vange on makes a close attack and hits, after resolutions, deal 1 damage and give an action token to another opposing character within 2 squares and lines of fire. That's pretty good. And then the special on the defense is called Human Until Splashed by Blood. Vange Wedagon has normal damage symbol instead of colossal damage symbol. When Vange on or an adjacent friendly character would take damage, they don't take that damage and instead turn Vange on to her starting click, Protected Pulse Wave. Alright, so she has 3 different starting lines, 275, 175, and 75. We're going to talk about how this figure works here in a second. She has a 6 range single target at 275, has a 12 movement with running shot and flight ability, 12 attack, psychic blast, 19 defense, invincible, and indomitability, 5 damage with shape change and colossal symbol. Then for the special for 175, she has a 10 movement with running shot, 11 attack, energy explosion, 18 defense, impervious, and indomitability, 4 damage with shape change and colossal. And then at 75 points has a 9 movement with charge, 11 attack with that special, 18 defense with invulnerability, 3 damage with Battle Fury. And then at click 25, it has a 6 movement with Earthbound, 8 attack, 16 defense with that special, indomitability, and 1 damage with Outwit and the Colossal. So when you turn to that click number, it ends up that you have the standard symbol instead of the Colossal symbol. And then when that character is hit, when a friendly character is hit, you go to your regular starting line. The only reason you want to do that is for carrying, or if you really decided you wanted the Outwit. I don't know why you would do that to yourself otherwise, because as soon as she gets hit, right, when or an adjacent friendly character would take damage, they don't take that damage and instead turn it to starting click. Okay, so you would not take that damage and turn to your starting click. I could see reasons for doing that. I just think this is a really cool sculpt. I think the 75 point line is probably the best one because you get that attack special. So it's just a cool sculpt. I don't know too much about the character. You guys let me know in the comments below if you know anything about this particular character. But I think it's a cool sculpt anyway with some neat powers. Next up, we have Mesmero. Number 33 in the set has the Brotherhood of Mutants, Weapon X, and Celebrity keywords. Has improved targeting, ignores elevated and hindering terrain. Has a trait special on its movement and defense. First trait is called My Mutant Brothers and Sisters. Once per turn, when an effect other than clearing removes action tokens from Mesmero, after resolutions, heal him 1 click. So we've seen this before. It's still pretty cool though. Special on the movement is called The X Circus is in Town. Mind Control. When Mesmero uses it, you may choose that hit characters can use improved movement, ignores elevated, and can't make attacks. If you do, after resolutions, deal 2 damage to any hit character that moved from higher elevation to a lower elevation during that action. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So basically you give a character improved movement, ignores elevated, and then you just run them up. You know, if they were adjacent to elevated, you just run them 1 square up, 1 square down, boom, they're taking 2 damage, which is pretty cool. Plus you got to reposition them. I think that's actually a pretty powerful ability. Then the special on the defense is called You There, Protect Me. Mastermind. When Mesmer uses Mastermind during a range attack, he may instead choose an opposing character within 4 squares and lines of fire that isn't attacking regardless of point value. So, Mastermind, when you use it during a ranged attack, he may instead choose an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire that isn't attacking. So, basically, you want to use this guy, you want to kind of run him out in the middle of everybody and just let him start taking shots, and as long as there's somebody that's not attacking you within 4, that's an opposing character, you can mastermind that damage off. I think you're going to catch a ton of people not paying attention whenever they do this, and I hope that myself and that you guys pull this guy in a battle royale and you're just able to never take damage. That would be phenomenal. And that's the cool thing too, is with his mind control, basically you move him in closer to within the 4. Hopefully they're taking damage, and then you're doing other stuff too. For 45 points, he has the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, 7 range, which is actually pretty far nowadays. Dual target, 8 movement with that special, 11 attack, 17 defense with that special, 1 damage with shape change. I'll take it. Heck, I'll take 2 of these guys on a team. I think that's pretty good. You guys let me know. This might be one of my favorite figures in this set, in this batch of previews. Next up, we have Frenzy. Number 27 in the set has the Acolytes, Femizon, X-Men, and Soldier keywords. Has 1 trait, a special on her movement and damage. The trait is called Mutant Messiah, and we've seen this before. Choose somebody with the Acolytes, Brotherhood of Mutants, or X-Men keywords. Character can use Mastermind, but only to target characters with this trait. So that's, depending on who you're protecting, could be really good. Has that special on her movement, which is called Time to Cleanse the Flat Scans. Leap Climb. When Frenzy uses it, if she moved 5 squares or less, after resolution, she can use Close Combat Expert at no cost. That's pretty powerful ability there. Leap Climb's good. Just being able to move 5 or less and attack would have been enough, but then to be able to use Close Combat Expert to increase either your attack or damage is phenomenal. Then the special on her damage is called Like a Hot Wire Buzzing in My Brain. Battle Fury, Close Combat Expert. So definitely really cool there. She's 80 points, which is not too bad. Has a 9 movement with that special, 10 attack, 19 defense with invulnerability and indomitability, 3 damage. So basically you're going to run in there for moving 5 or less squares, get yourself up to a 12 attack, hit him for 3 damage, and then say, good luck hitting my 19 defense. I really like this figure. I think that's definitely cool. Only rare. Not super familiar with this character, but X-Men's a good keyword. I like the things that are going on. I don't think I'd ever sacrifice that 19 defense to let somebody master. That'd have to be a pretty special figure to let them mastermind onto her. But that's definitely a cool figure there. Next up, we have Cassandra Nova, number 42 in the set. She is a super rare, it looks like. She has improved targeting, ignores characters, Brotherhood of Mutants, Sentinel, and Ruler keywords. Has a trait special on her defense and a special on her damage. Her trait is called the Mind Field. Mind Control. When Cassandra Nova uses it, for each character she hits after resolutions, those that attacked and hit get a approved token, and otherwise they get a rejected token. Characters with 1 or more approved tokens modify attack +1 when on your force, and characters with 1 or more rejected tokens modify attack -1 when not on your force. Whew. Okay, so it's always helping you. There's no way that it's not helping you. Special on her defense is called Can Only Be Attacked on the Astral Plane. Super senses, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. Close attacks deal a maximum of 1 damage to Cassandra Nova. Oh man, this girl is going to be tough to deal with. Then she has a special on her damage called Leader of the Clear Mountain Institute. Leadership, Perplex, Shape Change. When Cassandra Nova uses leadership and succeeds, instead of normal effect, you may generate a number 005 Guard Commander. Oh, man. She's 150 points, which is a little pricey, but has an 8 range triple target, 7 movement with stealth, 11 attack with psychic blast, 18 defense with that special, and indomitability, 3 damage. So triple target mind control, and then they get +1 attack if they're on when you mind control them again, or -1 if they're not on your attack or on your force. She has super senses that she's got a 50-50 shot at doing. She reduces damage, she doesn't even reduce. Attacks deal a maximum of 1 damage to Cassandra Nova if they're close. So she's not even reducing. So it gets around Precision Strike, gets around basically everything except for Pulse Wave. And then, you didn't like the super senses? You somehow missed your super senses roll? Or, before you even get to that, you have shape change that you have to get through. And then a perplex, so you can perplex yourself up to 19 defense. You have shape change of 50-50 super senses. This girl's crazy. I definitely need one of these in my life. So that's all the previews for today, guys. Let me know what one was your favorite in the comments below. Man, I liked pretty much every preview. I feel like the last few previews I maybe wasn't excited for every figure, but this one I was basically excited for every single figure that we saw. Super hyped. Gonna have some stuff for pre-release unboxings coming up, and we're also gonna do the Troll and Toad unboxing, and then my standard case unboxing. So you guys let me know what figure you're looking forward to most. Definitely always enjoy reading that stuff. That's all I have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.